This watch may be the best Timex release of 2025 so far, but despite its good looks, it isn't without its flaws. Let's be honest, it wouldn't be a Timex if Timex didn't try to mess up the watch in some way, and they have succeeded to a degree here, a few degrees in fact. I'll walk you through the positives and the negatives and give you my honest opinion. Transparency, I bought it with my own money, so this video is completely unsponsored. Hello there, if you're new here, my name is Libby and this is As Time Decides. Timex has found huge success with its Q Timex reissues and reimaginations in the past few years. Good looking quartz watches for relatively affordable prices, but more often than not, the beautiful designs are let down by some very basic issues which crop up time and time again, and Timex seems to have little will to resolve these issues. In the past, I've overlooked these faults because they don't completely spoil the enjoyment of the watch for me. But with AliExpress brands like Addis Dive absolutely destroying Timex in terms of build quality, is it about effing time Timex upped its game? This is the Q Timex 1971 Velocity, and I don't really know what type of watch this is. It has a 60-minute bezel which makes you think it could be a dive watch, but the water resistance is 50 meters, so it isn't a dive watch. It has a checkered pattern on the dial, which makes you think it's a racing watch, but it doesn't have a chronograph function, so maybe it isn't a racing watch. So what does that mean? It's a nothing watch, a pointless watch. But oh my goodness, it is bloody handsome, and the quality does feel improved over other slightly older Timex reissues I have in my collection. The design is actually based on a Timex electric model from the 1970s, and it is pretty faithful to its forebear, but of course it uses a modern quartz movement and not an archaic electric movement, as cool as that might have been. The Q Timex 1971 Velocity was first released last year in a black colourway on a black rubber strap. It looks okay, but I definitely think this blue colourway is the one to go for. The case has a fantastic shape to it with some striking chamfers and a nice mixture of brushed and polished finishes. It's actually quite refined for a Timex. The dark blue aluminium bezel is bidirectional and a friction bezel. It has the right amount of resistance to stop the bezel moving on its own too easily, but not so much it's unpleasant to use. The crystal is a domed acrylic and it sits proud from the case. I know a lot of people demand sapphire, but purely from an aesthetic point of view, I really don't think an acrylic crystal can be beaten. It also has an unsigned crown. Yes, Timex is still doing those in 2025, and the typical Q Timex case back with a quick change battery hatch. The case feels more substantial than the 1979 reissue I have. There is a definite improvement in quality. Interestingly, on the Timex website it states that the case size is 36mm with a thickness of 9.5mm, and as such I expected it to be perfect for my small 6-inch or 15.2cm wrist, but it wears larger. I thought my eyes were deceiving me until I actually measured it, and it's definitely larger. It's more like a 37 or 38. The lug-to-lug measurement is 42mm. The water resistance is only 50 meters, which is fine for me. I'm not much of a swimmer, but I know it simply isn't enough to satisfy most enthusiasts. Surely it can't be that hard or expensive to achieve 100 meters of water resistance compared to 50. The dial is absolutely gorgeous, a rich dark blue colour to match the bezel with an orange crosshair and checkerboard pattern chapter ring. The hour markers are applied and high polished with a loom pip, and it gives them a pretty unique look. The frame date window is trapezoid in shape with a white date wheel. Normally you'd say, guys, it's 2025, please colour match the date wheel. But actually I think it works quite well with the dial. The hour and minute hands are white in a pencil style with an orange second hand. It's all very attractive. Now we come to the part of the watch that traditionally lets Timex down. In fact, I preempted this by picking up a blue FKM rubber strap from AliExpress. But in this instance, the Rolex Jubilee style bracelet is actually really nice. It has solid links and the individual parts all articulate extremely well, with a brush finish on the outer links and a polish finish on the inner links. The push button clasp looks fine too, until we open it, and then we discover this watch has a pressed or stamped clasp with no micro adjustment. It sits flush and absolutely looks the part, but the quality of the clasp does not seem to match the rest of the watch. It's literally the worst of all worlds. Fortunately, the bracelet has quick release spring bars, so you can easily swap out the bracelet for a strap if you want to. The recommended retail price for this watch in the UK is £165. Perhaps we have been spoiled by the ridiculous value for money so many AliExpress brands provide these days, that we look at a watch like this and unfairly think it's overpriced. Or maybe it is justified criticism and Timex really needs to buck up its ideas. I didn't pay retail, I paid £89 and I'm pretty happy with that. I certainly wasn't going to pay full price. It's not a limited edition as far as I know, so you can bookmark it and wait for a sale or discount code. A general rule of thumb for me is not to pay over £100 for a run-of-the-mill Timex, and I stand by that even though I have been suckered into paying more than that for the Q Timex Vintage Hodinkee Limited Edition, the Cara Barrett V1 and the upcoming Noah Lighthouse. They bloody see me coming every time, don't they? I really do think this watch looks fantastic and the flaws don't ruin it for me. But I can totally understand why so many may be frustrated with a watch like this because Timex is so close to being the ultimate affordable watch brand if it could just fix the little issues. Put a better clasp on it, put a signed crown on it, increase the water resistance to 100 meters, bing bang boom, sorted. It might mean bumping the price to a couple of hundred, but perhaps it would be worth it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's all I've got time for today. Thank you for watching and I'll see you again next time.